Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we're going to be doing some Armada card tech discussion as well as a fleet build to support said tech. That tech revolving around the card Shields to Maximum. One of those cards we don't usually use just because Intensify Firepower is so much better. But Shields to Maximum is going to try and get some use in today's video. We're going to be talking about why this card isn't very good and what I'm doing to try and make it better. We'll do a fleet all the way around it. You know, it's kind of fun to kind of get into this a little bit. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Little admin stuff again. We are still giving away that lightsaber. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. Also check the links in the description below. And kind of a side thing, I don't know if you guys follow social media, but like yesterday, AMG was tweeting about some additional tournaments and Worlds qualifiers. You know, for all you Armada players, whether you play Armada, Legion, X-Wing, you know, Worlds is going to be at Adepticon next year, and there's another tournament called the Golden State Games AMG Star Wars Open World qualifiers. It's going to be in November in California, so you definitely check that out. Go to atomicmassgames.com/events. You can see a list of all the Worlds qualifiers that are on there. So I know there's some, you know, there's like less and less that are in the United States after Nova. There's fewer and fewer that are still coming up. So that was a new one that was just added. So I thought that would be kind of a cool thing to remind some people about as well. So let's go ahead and kind of get into this. We are talking about the Shields to Maximum card. So it's one of the fleet commands, 6 points. At the start of the ship phase, you may discard this card or spend an engineering token. If you do until the end of the round, before a friendly ship reveals a command, it may recover a shield. So it gives an extra shield to a ship, to all of your ships each turn. Sounds really, really good. Problem is, you usually don't have that many ships that need shields all at the same time. There's a couple of ways to work around with this, you know, like projection experts and things like that. But it doesn't give you as much bang for your buck as something like Intensify Firepower does, because you usually have a whole lot of ships shooting, and then there's some dice fixing and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So what can we do with Shields to Maximum? Well, I have, you know, after playing at Gen Con and doing some Architans stuff, I have a ship idea that I want to give you guys, and because I really want, you know, we've been talking about, and I've got all of them. I'm using Ryan Kingston's fleet builder, by the way, to kind of put this fleet together. The Architans is one of my favorite ships in the game. It's my favorite ship in the game. I love the broadside option for it, and hopefully it will come to Republic soon. But until it does, the closest thing we have, I think, is the Consular Charger C70. So the C70, you know, is more of a front-focused chip, but it does have 2 red dice on the side, and it has the option for turbo laser. So and it's also only 45 points, right? So if I put an enhanced armament on the Consular Charger C70, suddenly it goes up to 55 points and can be a little bit like and Architans. Now, wait a second. You're probably asking yourself, why are we talking about Architans when we're supposed to be talking about Shields to Maximum? I'm getting there. Trust me, I'm getting there. So to try and make, you know, a better Architans or a better flanking ship that can do broadsides and kind of do the conga line for the Republic. You know, there's a lot of things, you know, that need to happen. One of the things that I think that I'd love to see happen is for them to get a commander that really supports ship-to-ship firepower, especially, you know, red dice at some point, whether it's extra dice or dice mitigation or, you know, dice fixing or something like that. But also, you know, I need this, you know, I need this C70 to do a little better than the Architans. Now, it has 1 less defense token, right? But it's still got still got kind of the same shield. It's still got 2/2/2. It's only got 1 in the back though, whereas the Architans is 2 was all around, right? So like it's not quite as strong. It's only got the 4 hull. It's certainly cheaper, but you know, one of the cool things is the regular Architans, the cheaper Architans, I should say, doesn't have the ability to take a support team. So, you know, a lot of people use engine techs, but I really like the auxiliary shields team. It's one of the newer upgrades that we got, and it's a great card. And so this is kind of where shields to maximum comes in. Now, the consular isn't kind of made for the auxiliary shields team because, hey, it's only got an engineering value of 2. And so what I could do with this is kind of the Charger C70 that I want to work. It's 58 points, so it's still a little on the cheaper side, but it's it's a little bit nicer. It's a little bit nicer because we can get 3 shields on each side, so we can get more shields than we would normally get with the Architans. But it's going to cost us 2 turns of doing engineering commands, because the first turn would be like, all right, we got engineering command, we got 2 points, I'll get 1 extra shield on the left. Next turn, engineering command, boom, got 1 extra shield on the right, and then we can start to do nav or concentrate fire and things like that. So like there's a little bit of a cost to that, and I think if we go with shields to maximum, that's going to reduce that timer, and I'll get into that, how we're going to do that. But I think this is going to be a strong ship, though, because not only do we have a 3 dice side arc, potentially 4 dice side arc if we concentrate fire, which would match an Architan's pretty well. We also have a stronger front arc, so when we get a double arc, it's going to be better than a double arc on an Architan's, which is really nice. Now, a lot of people, conversely, will run something like, let me duplicate this, but they won't run enhanced armament. They'll run of course, the tried and true. Gosh, I'm looking right at it and I'm not picking it, but linked turbo lasers. There we go. So linked turbo lasers is also common. So I'm going to run one of each in this build, right? I'm going to put one of each in this build, and we can kind of see which one performs better, right? Of course, my money would be on the enhanced armament version, but both are good ships. I just like having extra dice rather than a reroll. But linked turbo lasers does a couple of other things for you. It gives you, you're likely to have that second attack, so you're going to get 2 rerolls, which could be better than a single extra die. Also, it's going to give you that option to do a big squadron attack, which is nice. And it's also 3 points cheaper, so it definitely has its merits. So for this build, I'm going to do one of each. Now, how am I going to make that auxiliary shields team really work and kind of beef up these guys' shields? Because, hey, they only have the 1 redirect, but it's still going to be nice when you're able to use it. Well, we're going to do a flagship, and it's all going to come together when we do our flagship. Let me move this up to the top. So this flagship is going to be a Venator 1. Of course, it's going to have the fleet command, so we're going to put our shields to maximum on there. We're going to need to fuel this, and we're going to do it with Tarkin. Tarkin normally would fuel, intensify firepower and different types of things like that. And I think honestly, like when we plan our dials here, we're going to do some concentrate fire, and we're going to do some engineering. Maybe 3 of each is an option. So I'm going to build the rest of this, but here is my idea. Turn 1. My consulars all do a engineering command. Tarkin hands out an engineering token. This allows him to do shields to maximum next turn. It allows him to do maybe a nav with the Venator, right? Or maybe even a concentrate fire and take a token, because we're going to put some concentrate fire stuff on the Venator to work with this. So then when I activate my consular chargers, they're going to have a token and an engineering command, so they're going to have 3 points. Now, what do they do with these 3 points? They gain 1 shield on the left, and then they transfer the rear shield to the right. Now, this raises both sides to 3, but leaves us with no shields in the back. The cool thing is, next turn, when I activate shields to maximum, both of these guys are going to gain their shield back for free, which means I don't have to engineer next turn. The next turn I'm free to navigate or concentrate fire if we happen to be in shooting range. So, and since they're a command 1 ship, I'll be able to make those adjustments on the fly. And so that's kind of the beauty of this, is I can use those engineering tokens to transfer shields and then get them right back with shields to maximum and do that. Now, this is cool. You could run a whole bunch of just Charger C70s, but I wanted to put some different things in this list to kind of make all of that work. So I'm going to also put a third consular with the auxiliary shields team, but I'm going to go with an armed cruiser here. I'm trying to save points to make some other things. I want this list to do a little bit more than just be a bunch of consulars. But I will put auxiliary shields team on this one as well. We'll do the exact same trick. This one will be trying to get into close range, trying to maybe throw some black dice out there. Also, it's going to be a decent anti-squad ship with the 2 blue. And it's an extra activation, and it's kind of cheap, and hopefully will be at least moderately tanky if it's got extra shields on each side by the beginning of the second turn, which will be really fun. And so the other things that I want to do with Tarkin, and when the engineering kind of allows us to do, is it allows us to get some fun stuff going on here. So I want all these guys to kind of fly broadside. Right, and that's why I have enhanced armament over here. I want them to fly broadside and then eventually turn in. So I want this ship to have a SFAT cannon on it. So the SFAT-T cannon, and it's going to require concentrate fire tokens. Again, one of the reasons I said, hey, maybe Tarkin will also do some concentrate fire. It's also one of the things that makes me feel better about taking enhanced armament, because enhanced armament, while I won't have the rerolls, I can still get concentrate fire tokens from Tarkin when he hands those out. So I like that. I'm going to put clone gunners on this ship. It's going to give me a free accuracy. Only when I'm doing concentrate fire command. I'll be able to do a lot of concentrate fire commands, whether they be from a token or from a dial. I kind of like the idea of doing a dial, especially when I do a SFAT-T option. I'm also going to put clone captain Zach on here, because again, I do want to do big side arc flying. I want to be circling around. I want to be strafing, and the fleet kind of supports some of that, especially with this Charger C-70 with enhanced armament on it. I can have some pretty wicked firing arcs coming out my sides, and having fun with it. And then double arc too. I don't have to do really hard. I don't have to fly away from you completely. I can kind of lean into you towards like the middle of the game, and then start double arcing and doing really, really well. So I think this fleet makeup is kind of versatile so far. And I also will put assault protons on there, because we've got we're gonna have some black dice, whether we're at close range or doing a SFAT-T shot. So that's a little bit. This is only 299 points, and we're already at 1, 2, 3, 4 ships. Honestly, a respectful amount of firepower and some cool tech to try to make these C-70s a little more tanky. So I like that. We're going to add also another ship, and we're going to add, for this one, we're going to, just to diversify a little bit, we're going to put a Pelta in here. We're going to go with the medical frigate, because I will have a few squadrons in here as well. And so I want somebody that can activate squadrons if they need to. I mean, everybody can activate squadrons a little bit. The Venator, not so much because of the SFAT-T. But here we're also going to do something else with the engineering tokens that are coming out. We're going to put projection experts. This is somebody who can help us kind of recover those shields when they do start running out. Now, granted, with projection experts, I'm not going to be able to push a consular up to 3 shields on the side. I only get to do that when it's doing its own engineering command. But the projection experts can go to the flagship or anywhere it's needed. So that's just, it's going to work with all of this. And it also works well with shields to maximum. Again, the theme of the list, right? Shields to maximum. So these guys are going to need it. All of the consulars are going to need it. The Pelta can now transfer its shields. If it wants to do an engineering with 4, it can transfer 2 shields away, and it can regenerate 1 of them, and then have the 1 empty spot ready to come back with shields to maximum next turn, which is really, really cool. And then just for an extra little bit of flexibility, I put CommsNet on here. And there's a reason I went for CommsNet instead of one of the other like parts resupply or munitions resupply. And it's really because of points, because at this point level, first off, CommsNet lets me do a whole lot more. But also for points, because I want to have 4 squadrons as a little bit of deployment and also as a little bit of a screen. And so this is going to give me 2 V-19 turrets and 2 bombers, 2 Y-Wing, BTLB Y-Wing bombers. And I feel like that's a respectable squadron presence. It's not a whole lot, but 4 squads is not bad. A lot of people are running squadronless these days, and having 2 bombers and 2 V-19s will be pretty nice. And it's certainly more than I often run. I don't usually run 4 squadrons, let alone a full squadron complement. But 4 is pretty good. That's 44 points. We can activate them all without too much difficulty. And I mean, we could even put a squadron token on Tarkin's thing if we want to. We can definitely figure that out, depending on the list. Especially if we end up going up against a list that does not have any squadrons, we may want to think about how we're going to do those. But yeah, having the B-wings come in and get some extra black die bomber shots would be really, really cool. So hopefully this kind of, this is a list that shows you some possibilities on a couple of different ways shields to maximum could work. We probably want to fly the flagship a little bit closer to the danger because it has the most tools to be able to recover that damage. It doesn't have a defensive retrofit, but it can get a lot of shields back really quick between projection experts and shields to maximum. So I thought that's a fun one, especially if it's doing engineering commands of its own. Now for our objectives, we're going to go with opening salvo. I do have a lot of ships that are shooting here. So we're looking at 5 shooting ships. Opening salvo is not bad. It's going to be 10 extra dice for me. I got fire lanes because any of my big broadside lists I like to do fire lanes with. And then for navigation, I feel like there's a lot of options. I think like superior positions could work in this one. I'm not super big on squadrons though. Solar Corona is always a safe one. But I feel like minefields would be kind of fun too because it might give me the opportunity to kind of have an easier broadside because if I can kind of control where my opponent's not going to fly towards at me directly. I'll just put minefields in there for fun, but I think probably Solar Corona is the safer bet because in case my opponent has strategic, they can throw the mines back at me, which is always weird, but it happens sometimes. But still, we're having fun. This isn't this probably isn't going to win a Worlds invite, but maybe. You never know. All right, guys, let me know what you think about the list down in the comments section. I will talk to you guys later. Let me know what you think about shields to maximum. Check the links in all the social media links in the video description. Hop in our Discord. I'd love to hear from you some more there. I will talk to you guys later. May the force be with you. Thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing. Live long and prosper. So say we all. Be excellent to each other. Wash your socks and rock and roll and hoochie coo. I'll talk to you guys later.